I'm Anna, I'm one of the two mythical unicorns. Welcome to our channel and to this series that we call Anime for Beginners. Today we're talking about comedy. And as always, the recommendations I'm making are from what I personally believe is a good gateway to anime. And if anyone doesn't know really anything about anime and just wants to get into it, and they are mostly based on what I enjoy, but I also take into account what has been really popular. So let's get right into it. First up, we have The Devil is a Part-Timer. And it starts up with the devil being in a parallel world. He has his army, he has 4 generals that are fighting his war, and it's not going very well for him. So with his last general, he has to flee from this parallel world with his magic, and he ends up on Earth, here with us, where there is no magic. And they are really confused on what's going on, and they don't understand the language, they don't understand technology, and they don't really know anything. So the devil, he uses the last of his magic to through some police officers, because they are taken to a police station because the police officers think that they are lost and that they are tourists. So at the police station, the devil, he tries to get out information on what they need to do in this world and try to understand the language. And that is how they get to know that they need somewhere to live, and that they need food, and how to dress, and trying to research on how to build up their strength and magic again and get out of there so that they can get back home and continue the war and succeed. And to live in this world, you need money, and you get money by work. And that is why the devil works as a part-timer at McDonald's. And he's actually quite good at it, and he's doing a good job, and he has a goal to rise in the ranks and become something great and control the entire McDonald's. I don't know. But then one day when he's on his way to work, it's raining, he has an umbrella, and he sees a girl walking and she does not have an umbrella, so he offers it to her, and he goes to his work and he's doing his job, and on his way back he meets the girl again. She does not have the umbrella anymore. She tells him that she threw the umbrella away, and that she is the hero from the parallel world and she has come to kill him. Yes. And they have no magic powers, and for this anime it's both the story of the part-timer and McDonald's and dealing with that and competition. Yeah, and then we have the big good versus evil fight and enemies showing up, and it's a really funny mix, and they are really good characters. But yeah, it's really funny. I hope there will be a second season. Next up we have Nanbaka. It takes place in a Japanese prison called Nanba, and just like Alcatraz, it is placed out on an island, so it's completely isolated. In building 13, cell 13, there are 4 inmates. Number 69, Rock. He loves food. Number 25, Nico. He reacts weirdly to drugs, and he also loves manga and anime. Number 11, Uno. He loves gambling. And lastly, their leader, number 15, Yugo, who is a specialist at picking locks. And they, all the 4 of them, when separated, have escaped from every prison they have been in. And they've been in a lot of prisons. They are, well, they're not really bad guys, because I don't think they really hurt anyone. They more like robbers, cheating at games, that kind of criminals. But of course they're gonna try to escape from Nanba as well, and they do a lot and have yet to succeed. The 3 guards of the building, keeping the 4 of them in check, is led by the supervisor Hajime, and he puts a stop to all self-guarding inmates' tricks and tries to escape. He doesn't let anything pass. He puts up a good front in front of the prison warden, Momoko, and she's in love with Hajime. So she tries to grill him a lot because she wants to spend time with him. And he's really nervous that the secrets are gonna come out because he says everything is fine. And it is not really. And the other 2 guards are kind of stupid. This anime is one of the most colorful animes I've ever seen. It's really fun to watch, and you just get so happy with all the colors. Next up we have Mob Psycho 100. Reigen Arataka is a self-proclaimed psychic. He helps people out with different problems like hauntings and that sort of thing. The thing is that he's not a psychic, he is fooling people. He follows his clients that need help with hauntings to whatever sites they need help with. And one day he follows a client and there's a serious problem. And that is when he calls Mob. Mob is an 8th grader who has tapped into his psychic powers at a very early age. And he has a lot of psychic power. Like a lot of psychic power. And he's employed by Reigen, who calls whenever he needs Mob. And then Mob comes running when Reigen needs help, when there's an actual problem. Mob came into contact with Reigen because he realized that his powers are so big that he can't control them, and he's scared that he's gonna lose control and he's gonna hurt someone. And Reigen promised to help him with then helping doing this job. And it is questionable if this is helping Mob, because he has such great power and this small exorcism things, they're not really doing anything. If he doesn't get his powers under control, if they just continue to grow and he doesn't keep his emotions in check, his powers are kind of gonna run berserk and it's gonna cause a catastrophe. And I'm not really sure what kind of catastrophe, but it's gonna be bad. And I don't really know that much more because I have not seen it. I tried to watch it and it is just not my cup of tea, but it is really popular. I've seen people say really good things about it, so I can imagine that there are a lot of people out there that would like this as a gateway anime. Next up we have Hinamata Suri, and it's from 2018, and it's about Yoshifu Manita. And he's a member of the Yakuza and he likes to collect valuable pieces. And then one day when he's at home, he's sitting in the couch, a big metal egg comes from nowhere and drops into his head. And he is confused, as you would be if a huge metal egg just fell into your apartment from nowhere. So he decides to ignore the problem. He goes to bed. It's like, it's probably gone when he wakes up, which it's not, obviously. The metal egg is still there, and the girl that is in the egg asks him to release her. So he does, and she comes out, and she asks him for help and things. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna help you, I'm not a good person. He's in the Yakuza, he's a bad guy. And that is when she starts breaking his vases, which he does not appreciate. So he does as she says, and gets her food and gets her clothes, and she wants to go to school. So he fixes her into school under the one promise that she will not use her telekinetic powers that she has. And then he comes home and her powers are just going berserk, because apparently if she doesn't use the powers, she loses control and they just grow bigger and bigger, kind of like Mob. So he takes her out into the forest and gets her to chop wood so that she can use up all her power. and the two of them start forming this bond, and they start to cooperate and almost become friends. It's really funny and really sweet. And, like, just the thing that he sits in his couch and an egg dropped into his head. And yeah, it is really funny. It's one of my favorites for this episode. Next up we have Asobi Asobase, and it's about 3 middle school girls who start a school club. Honda used to be in soft tennis club. She's quite good at sports, but she's not really interested. She only started to get an in with the popular girls, and it didn't work, so she quit. Olivia has foreign parents, so she's blonde and looks a bit Western, but she's always been living in Japan, so she only knows Japanese. First, the others believe that she's an exchange student, and she kind of goes along with it, speaking a bit broken Japanese, but it is really the only language she knows. Kazumi is a rather quiet and shy person, but she can become really scary when she's serious about something. She sucks at English and therefore asks Olivia to teach her English, because Olivia, as we know, is pretending to be an exchange student, so the obvious thing is that she knows English, which she doesn't. And she doesn't want to admit that she doesn't know any English and that she as well sucks at English. In an attempt to get Olivia to teach Kazumi English, she proposes a competition, and the prize is to learn. And that is how the club is formed. And in this club they do different things that they want to try out that they don't know about beforehand, and Kazumi continues to get Olivia to, or try to get Olivia to teach her English, which is not going very well. And they do some weird things, and things don't always go as planned, and there are other funny characters showing up. So it's really sweet and rather funny. Next up is Black Butler, and this one is quite different from the other ones. This is a bit darker and a bit moody, and for those who have a bit of a dark sense of humor. CL Phantom Hive is the head of the family despite being just a kid, because he's the only one left in the family. His parents have died in a fire, and CL himself disappeared mysteriously for quite a while, and then returns with his butler. This new butler, called Sebastian, is one hell of a butler, as he likes to proclaim quite a lot. Sebastian is always by CL's side, and he is almost single-handedly taking care of the entire mansion, since the rest of the staff that is employed kind of suck at their jobs and are ruining more than they're actually accomplishing. CL and Sebastian have made a contract, and that is that Sebastian will take care of CL and do everything that CL asks of him, and when CL dies, Sebastian, or when it's time, Sebastian will take his soul. So this is sort of a demonic blood band kind of contract, and they therefore share a special bond, and they also get to know each other better, which deepens the bond. And CL is the queen's guard dog, meaning that when something is happening in the queendom, I guess, he has to take a look at it, so and take care of whatever the queen is asking of him. And Sebastian helps, and they take care of things such as Jack the Ripper and that sort of thing. This show has several different elements. As you can tell, it is a bit supernatural, it's a bit mysterious, sometimes it's a bit scary, but it's also funny, and the humor in the show differs and has a big variation, because it's stupid and silly things like when the other staff in the mansion are messing up and they're doing really weird things, and then there are a bit darker jokes as well, and that is why I like it so much, that it has this big variation of different elements. Next up we have Assassination Classroom, Kunogigaoka. That is a mouthful. At Kunogigaoka High School, which is performing really well, there is a class called 3E that is not performing as well as the rest of the school. They have therefore been banished from the school grounds and have their classes in a little house in the woods, which is a bit weird, but that is happening. And they have a new teacher. And with this new teacher comes a very important task. Koro Sensei, which is the new teacher, and that can kind of be translated to indestructible sensei. He is a creature, a yellow round head with kind of tentacles, who destroyed the moon. And he has threatened to destroy the entire planet, or promised that he will destroy the entire planet. But he will hold off on the one condition that he gets to be a teacher. And he is assigned class 3E at Kunogigaoka High School. And the students in this class are therefore tasked with the... Yeah, they are gonna try to kill him. That is what they're gonna do. They are being taught how to be assassins and are going to try to kill Koro Sensei. But Koro Sensei turns out to be quite a good teacher, so he also gets their grades up a bit, or trying to get the grades up, and he sees each pupil as an individual and a separate person, and they're not just a class of misfits and failures. They are their own persons and have their own strength. And that contrast, and then they are trying to kill him all the time. They are making different plans, and it's all very very fun contrast. And it's a very special show. Next up we have the disastrous life of Sidekick. Sidekick Kuso is a high school student. He has pink hair, green glasses, and Frankenstein thingies on his head. And the reason he has green glasses and Frankenstein things on his head is that he has powers, psychic abilities, all sort of things. He he can read minds. He can become invisible. He can change. He can turn back time. It's called. He can turn back time. He can change his body into a female, or I think even animals. He can teleport. He can, yeah, he can do a lot of things. He's super fast and super strong and all that. But he does not like attention. So he tries to keep in the middle. And the exact middle. Whatever he's doing, tests, sports, whatever, he makes sure he ends up in the exact middle. He's a bit freaky. And he does not like people for different reasons, mostly that he thinks people suck and he always can hear their thoughts. His parents are quite unstable. They are not the best parents, and Kuso is always cleaning up after his father. His father is always asking for help to fix messes he has made. And in Kuso's class there is this guy Nendo, and Nendo is really stupid. And Kuso can't hear his thoughts, can't hear his mind. And with this reading mind ability, Kuso is always keeping track of people, so he knows when they are around and how to keep to himself, except for Nendo. And Nendo keeps popping up everywhere and annoying the shit out of Kuso. And then there is this girl, Kurohara, who is the perfect girl. And she really is. She is sweet and nice and thoughtful, and she's quite smart, and she's really, really beautiful. And she knows that she is. So she kind of tries to use her ability as the perfect girl to be nice in the world and give people something special extra. And someday she bumps into Kuso, and she notices that he isn't really that interested in her, and that of course piques her interest, and she gets kind of obsessed about getting his approval. And all these people are kind of weird people are drawn to Kuso, and he just tries to cope with his daily life. That is what happens. Next up we have Cells at Work, and this is a really special show. It is about the cells in our body, and they are kind of living in a society that is within our bodies and doing their jobs. So we are following a red blood cell as she is trying to do her job. All the red blood cells are running around with either packages of oxygen or baskets of food, and they are delivering them to different places in the body. And then we have the white blood cells that are fighting off infection, and then we have something near the lungs, I think. They are tiny children who are really, really cute, and this is a whole system and a society with houses and streets and everything that you need. And then sometimes bacteria breaks in through the ground, which is really like the veins. And then the white blood cells that are kind of buff and really serious, they go in and they fight off the bacteria and saving all the other cells. And the red blood cell that we get to follow, she gets lost constantly. She is on her way to the lungs, and she ends up by the urine bladder. And by the urine bladder she finds one of the bacteria that have gone missing or fled from the white blood cells. And now she's being attacked and she's running for her life, and then the white blood cell shows up and tries to fight off the bacteria, but the bacteria is too strong, and he takes off, and he has a mission of his own, and she's gonna infiltrate the body and make it sick. And then we get to follow how these different cells are kind of working in the body, and different things happen. And it's really funny and a bit weird, and it's really sweet. It's really easy to watch. And now when I get wounds, I kind of feel bad, because when in the show there is a wound, there is just this big opening, and the blood that pours out, that is like blood cells being pulled out of their home and their society and their known world just into a black hole, and then they are gone forever. So now I feel kind of bad. I'm like, oh no, I'm separating you. I'm taking you away from your home. Made me think weird things. Lastly, we have Warren High School Host Club, and it's about a few guys in high school that are having a host club. So the girls at the school that are quite high in society, I think, they can book times and spend time with these gentlemen. And Harry one day shows up at this the place where they have this host club, and he is talking to one of them for some reason, and he accidentally knocks over a vase. And that vase is insanely expensive and valuable. So to pay off the debt that he has gotten, he is joining the host club, and he's an errand boy to start with, and then he is really good at it, and he gets the girls that are coming there, and some of them want to book him as a host. So he's turned into a host, and during the first episode we get to see how the different guys in the host club realize something, and they all realize something one by one until there's only one left, and then there's the big reveal. And it's really funny. I'm not gonna say what it is because you're gonna have to see it by yourselves. But yeah, so Harry is forced to join this host club, and they're making up some weird things and themes, and there are balls, and yeah, it's a bit older, so I don't really go for that style a lot, but this one was really funny. And really sweet and a bit weird, and I really enjoyed it. So that was it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have anything that you think should have been in this episode that I missed, any animes, please let me know down below. If you have any questions, or if you decided to watch any of the animes, please let me know what you thought about it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more like this, please subscribe. And until next time, bye!